Okay, I think I am recording, so I think this is good. Well, hello there, everyone. It's Debbie Hazelton. It's great to be with you. I actually made this video a couple times, and for one reason or another, I wasn't totally satisfied. And I've got my two headphones on. I guess I hope I listen doubly to any talking that I do. I hope more and more that I listen. So I want to talk a little bit about the channel, and then I want to give you some other thoughts that came to me yesterday. I spent a lot of time with somebody really working on the channel, putting everything into playlists and changing the titles of things, trying to make sure that they're clear and congruent. And so part of what you see in the New Thought churches and New Thought church services, those are talks that I've given, I think predominantly at the church here in Dothan. I wish I had them for all the other talks I've given, but at any rate, I have put the full service in there and where I've had it, and that's with the actual video in real time. And then I've extracted the talk from their CD and uploaded it using Tunes to Tube as an audio only file with just a picture. So that's why you see duplicates, and that's what they are. And then in the inspirational thoughts, I go way back to, I think, 2012. I started putting up some things, and I used to speak a whole lot more in the 80s and 90s. I wish I had all those. But at any rate, there is lots there. And a few in the four-footed kids with my guide dog, and need to get more of my cat in there. But at any rate, I just finally, and the inside track is one that's going to keep growing. I've been doing a show for the last couple of years called On the Inside Track, and the subtitle for that is Defining Moments from There to Here. And it's a look at how any of us got to the point in our lives of making certain choices, or how certain choices that we made brought us from wherever we were to wherever we are now. I'm fascinated with the choices that people make. And so I've put a couple in there, but I actually do have more, and I think I will get those uploaded, and I will be doing more. A lot of them are on ACB Radio. ACB Radio is a station, actually 7 streams of stations that go to the organization of the American Council of the Blind. But I do interview a variety of people. The Inside Track show does have several people that are blind that have been on there, but there are other people that are interviewed as well, and plenty of others that will be interviewed, because I'm fascinated with all kinds of people from all different walks of life. And many of you are subscribed to this channel, and I so appreciate you. And if I haven't responded to your comments, it's only because I'm still doing what I can to find my way around on YouTube. And I don't know. But anyway, I very much appreciate you. And so yesterday, there were 2 things that came across my Facebook feed, and I had written about this on my blog before. Probably need to clean up that page too. That's on my debbiehazelton.com, but there are a number of things up there. And I wrote a long time ago about politically correct language, and so it's a topic I think is worth visiting again. And I hope that what I want to say here is helpful to you. And with anything, take what you like and leave the rest. So, gosh, yesterday what happened was, it seems that in the past week or two, this song, Baby It's Cold Outside, has stirred some comments of some people finding it offensive and other people saying, what in the world are you talking about? It's a song that was, I guess it came out in 1931. And so my first feeling was, oh my gosh, I like that song. It's cute. I don't get it. And then I read that some people feel that it's about date rape, or it's encouraging date rape. And well, I personally don't see that. I don't have that opinion, because at any point in time, I think the girl could have gotten up, and actually it's been sung by both parts. I've sung both parts. So whoever it is that's feeling seduced could have gotten up even with a drink and left. That's my take. But you know what? What I'm wanting to get across about politically correct language is that it is actually something that gives us all keys to sort of turn our direction, turn our attention, turn the key of our intention to understand what someone is talking about, what someone is feeling or needing. That being said, I would say I don't think we have enough words. I don't think we have enough categories sometimes. And so we have used a lot of language that has been limiting. And even when it's well intended, I think language in many ways it leaves a lot to be desired. So there are two things that I think about this whole topic of politically correct language. I think I could say two promises. The first one, I think, is most assuredly true. That no matter how well any of us are intended, no matter how much well we mean positively to say the right thing, to do the right thing, to not harm anyone, to not hurt feelings, we are never, always going to get it right. I don't care how much we try, how hard we try, in all likelihood, until we can communicate totally telepathically, we will not get it 100%. And the other promise I would say is, I think that probably most people, maybe I'm just guessing, this is not a scientific guess, but probably 98% of people really mean well, do not mean to offend, really do not mean to hurt anyone. And so that being said, I'm not suggesting that we just ignore it. I do think it often is a good thing to speak up. And I often do tell people, you know what, your website isn't accessible to me. Or when you say certain things about blind people being sloppy, or I don't know, when you say things about women who are of a certain age being old or frumpy or ugly or fat. Somebody called me fat one day because they didn't get what they wanted from me, and I was not fat. Even if I've needed to lose some weight, I don't think I've ever been considered fat in my life. But what that told me was that someone wanted to use something to be hurtful. They wanted to find a derogatory way to be hurtful. So while I don't think people mean to be hurtful, I think there is more that we can do. But I think that one of the things that is very important is that when we say that something is offensive, I think it is best if we talk in the first person. I can't represent all women. I can't represent all people with disabilities. I can't represent all blind people. I can, in fact, only represent me, really. Now, I can say that I have come to prefer language that is all-inclusive. I have come to prefer people with disabilities, people who are blind. I have come to prefer to say peace on earth, goodwill to all. So the first person on Facebook yesterday was offended by Baby It's Cold Outside. And the second person, only maybe a couple of messages later, was saying, I'm tired of all this politically correct language crap. I'm going to say what I like, and these people have taken it too far, and it's stupid to have to be politically correct, and I don't care. It's a free country. I'll say what I want. And I almost said something to him. I was really going to be very nice to him and ask him how he would like it if he were routinely left out. Because I think that's sometimes what is being said when people want language to be more politically correct. They're feeling like there's a generality made that is leaving them out. For example, Merry Christmas, everyone. Or let's say a group prayer and assume that everyone is Christian. Well, everyone is not Christian. And so to say something like that and have it be for everyone, assuming that everyone is Christian, is not fair, is not accurate. Does that mean we can't have a prayer? I don't think so. Some people would say, yeah, there shouldn't be any prayer. If there isn't any prayer, am I offended? No, because I can do what I want silently. However, I tend to, when I lead group prayer, find a way to make it all-inclusive. And so to say something that is more all-inclusive is important. I started to say something to this guy, and I knew from seeing a lot of his posts that there are times where he's just angry and he is not going to let anyone take it away from him. And you know what? I have been there and done that. I have been so angry a lot of my life. I can remember as a kid knowing that I felt so much anger. It was like an itch. I felt like it was like an itch that could not be scratched, that could not be satisfied. I was so angry. That's a lot of anger. And it's really scary to think that there are a lot of kids walking around with that kind of anger. But yeah, there are. And I think there are many things that contribute to that. But still, just because I wouldn't say something to him about it, I decided to do something else with it. And that's why I'm here. I do care about being politically correct, but not to the point that it means saying nothing, not to the point that I'm on eggshells or would encourage anyone to be on eggshells. People will get really weird sometimes and they'll go, well, I know that you're sightless. I know that you're, and they'll dance all over the place. I'm a person who happens to be blind. If you say it wrong, I may say it right in the moment, nicely, for you to hear it. And at the same time, I know it's okay because chances are they mean well. Now, one little thing, well, actually a couple things I want to say about that. People will often say, well, I know you don't want to be treated like you're different. You want to be treated like everyone else. And I want to ask you, do you want to be treated like everyone else in every situation? Is that what you would say? Would you end that phrase with, just treat me like everyone else? My guess is maybe it's a situation to situation, but my guess is a lot of times, no. Guess what? I don't want to be treated like everyone else. I want to be treated like me. And that comes by getting to know me. That comes by me getting to know you and getting to know what you like. So if I assume that everyone wants to be treated the same, wow, that's like cookie cutter thinking. That's like just in a real boring way, assuming that everyone is the same. And guess what? We're not. And that's where politically correct language is important, because I want to include everyone as much as possible. I don't want you feeling left out. If there's a product on TV and I'm really interested in hearing the description on an infomercial, and it says, for more information, call the number on your screen. Guess what? I know they forgot about me. Now, I'm not expecting that they're going to necessarily know me. But as we become more aware of the differences of people and the diversity of all of us together in this wonderful mix of synergy, as we become more aware of all-inclusive everyone in this wonderful mix, it's like a trail mix, it's like a soup, all of us together. And as much as we begin to include, not to just try to make our language so sterile it has nothing in it, but we find ways. I mean, we say happy holidays. What's wrong with that? Or I might say, hey, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, because I happen to know lots of Jewish people and people of other faiths that enjoy celebrating Christmas. And I equally know lots of Christians who don't. So guess what? I'm going to say, hey, if you're doing all this stuff today, if you're celebrating or if you're having fun on this day, I hope you have a wonderful time. Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Holidays. There's a group called the Therapy Sisters, and they have an album called A Codependent Christmas. And they have a song on there, Happy Whatever You're Having. I don't know that I want to go quite that far to make sure to say something that allows everyone to just be. I think, though, that it behooves all of us to make room for the differences and similarities between us all, for the talents and the tastes and the cultures and the history and the diversity of all of us to be in the circle. If we have an attitude that says, well, I just don't care, I'm just not going to care about politically correct language, well, you wait and see, and maybe you already know how you feel being left out. And if you don't, you might find out one day and see how you feel. If it's a vehicle that you can't get into because it's assumed that all people can get in this one kind of vehicle, or if it's something that needs to be read and you can't read it because it's not made in an accessible format, then we'll see how you feel. If someone says, I don't care, I'm tired of all this accessibility stuff. No. Does it get tiring? Yeah. And sometimes it does put people, like I said, on eggshells. I don't want that. But you know what? Sometimes people say to me, I don't really know what you need. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to assist you. And I'll say, you know what? I've spent my whole life figuring that out. I don't expect you to know. But you know what? I'll tell you if there's something I need, or I'll ask you. And the best question that you can ask anyone who's different is, if there is something you need, I hope you'll tell me what it is. And if we all take responsibility for more of that, for more ways of expressing what we do need, and finding ways to include ourselves as well as hoping that others include us. So remember the two promises. We're not always going to get it right, no matter what, no matter how. I gave a talk one time, and I was doing a lot of all-inclusive kind of stuff. I've done lots of workshops on differentness and all-inclusive kinds of things, and I actually feel that in a lot of diversity training, people with disabilities are often not included. but there are lots of other kinds of things I've seen. Now we have lots of other ways of describing people who are dealing with gender issues and sexual orientation issues, and male babies with female brains and female babies with male brains, and probably mixed brains and all kinds of stuff. And no matter how anyone's value judgment is with any of that, it's here. It's a part of what's here. Why would we want to just do away with the talents of everyone or anyone who is outside of our comfort zone, when that person that we choose to leave out might be one who has more empathy, more gifts, and more talents, and all we need to do is to hear, oh, wait, let me find a way to include you in what I'm saying. So I gave this talk one time, and somebody came up and they said, you didn't include atheists. And I said, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't say, well, I'm very spiritual and I don't want to blah, blah, blah. No, because I happen to know some very thoughtful, very sensitive, kind, very impassioned, and in their own way, very spiritual atheists. They just do it in their way, and they don't believe in some of the things that maybe I was taught and a lot of us were taught. So anyway, I've gone on and on. I want to tell you, I have an announce list. If you want, you can send an email to announce-request@debbiehazelton.com and put subscribe in the subject field. I do post blog updates. If you're on my YouTube channel, I invite you to subscribe to it. Click the bell for every notification. Feel free to share and like and all that good stuff. I am on Twitter at Debbie Hazelton, Facebook, facebook.com. IAMDEBMH is my Facebook. And I have radio shows on ACB Radio Interactive. I do tweet and post on my announce list. Those are Monday, The Good Energy Mix at 11 a.m., Tuesday, 7 p.m. These are in Eastern time zone, even though that's not where I live. But that Tuesday show is on 10 stations. It's a show called In the Quiet, and it's meditative, spiritual, inspirational. By the way, there are people who really do not like the term inspirational speaker, particularly some other people with disabilities. Why do I call myself an inspirational speaker? Not because I happen to be a person with a disability, but because I am not a motivational speaker per se. In my opinion, a motivational speaker is one who encourages change of behavior, action in behavior. I encourage internal change in how you envision, the vision within, the perception that you have, and how you make sense of your life, how we make sense of our lives, and how we're able to go forward in then making change in the world based on the internal changes that we make. So that's why I call myself an inspirational speaker. But anyway, those two shows are on ACB Radio Interactive, and In the Quiet is on a bunch of other stations. And On the Inside Track is updated the first Wednesday of each month at 9 p.m. Eastern on acbradio.org/mainstream. However, like I said, more of those will be here on this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for being here. It's always good. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy everything, happy, wonderful times. I love the energy of this season. Do I take it all literally? No. Do I do it all? No. But oh man, do I love it. I have loved Christmas forever, and I'm going to continue. So thank you so much for being here. Much, much love always. Bye for now.